Hi guys! In this video, we are going to discuss assignment method as part of Module 7 scheduling. So assignment method is a special class of linear programming model that assigns tasks or jobs to resources. Objective is to minimize the cost or the time, and only one job or worker is assigned to one machine or project. So we have the following example. So given here is job RST and typesetters A, B, and C. So we want to build a table of costs or time associated with particular assignments. Now, this is already discussed in your operations research 1. So this is just a review on how to perform the Hungarian method. Now, on our example, so we have the following jobs and yung ating mga typesetter. So yung unang step is to get the row minimum. Okay? So we're going to identify the minimum value in the rows. So in this case, we have 6 for job R, we have 8 for job S, and we have 7 for job T. So once you have identified the row minimum, so we want to deduct the following values in each value in the row. So we are going to rewrite the jobs. So we have RST, and then yung ating typesetters A, B, and C. So 11 minus 6, so that will be 5. 14 minus 6, so that is 8. And then 6 minus 6 is 0. Next is 8 minus 8, so that is 0. 10 minus 8, so that is 2. And then 11 minus 8, that is 3. Next is 9 minus 7, that's 2. 12 minus 7, that is 5. And 7 minus 7 is 0. So once we're done with the row reduction, so that's the first step. So we perform the second step, which is yung column reduction. So column reduction naman, so you're going to get the minimum value in each column. So for column A, so that's 0. Column B, that is 2. And column C, so that is 0. So same process, we want to rewrite our table or yung ating matrix. Okay. So since yung ating column A is 0 yung minimum value niya, so as is yung mga values na ilalagay natin sa column niya. Si column B naman, so 2 yung pinakamaliit na value, so we want to deduct 2 from each value in the column. So 8 minus 2 is 6, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 5 minus 2 is 3. And then for column C, so copy lang yung mga values for each row. Okay? So once we're done here, so yung ating next step is yung ating row scanning. So row scanning is performed and we want to look for a single 0 existing in that row. So kapag meron daw isang row or may isang 0 doon sa row na yon, we're going to box that 0 and then write a vertical line. Okay? Ngayon, if there are 2 or more existing zeros in that row, so skip natin yung row na yon and then proceed with the next row. Okay? So, yung unang gagawin is to scan yung first row. So, we can see 1, 0 here. So, ibabox natin siya. And then, we're going to write a vertical line passing through that box. Okay? Next row is yung row ni S. So, we can see here that there are 2 zeros. So, we're going to skip this row. Yung sumunod na row is yung row ni T. And we can see that the only values na natira is yung 2 and 3 and wala ng 0. So, yung ating row scanning is complete. Yung next step naman is yung ating column scanning. So, per column naman yung pagsascan ng mga values. And then, once you find a single 0 in that column, you're going to box that 0 and then write or draw a horizontal line naman, canceling out that row. Okay? So, ganun din yung kanyang process na per column yung pag-scan, and then if there are 2 or more zeros existing in that column, you will proceed to the next column. Okay? So column na tayo. So, column A, so we can find 1, 0. So, kaya, ibabox natin yung 0 na yon, and then we are going to draw a horizontal line. Okay? So, looking at our table, so lahat na ng 0 ay na-cover na. So, kasi ang goal ni Hungarian method is to eliminate all zeros with the minimum number of lines. Ngayon, since we have eliminated all the zeros here, so, ang next step naman is to identify kung ito na ba ang optimal solution. So, we only find out that the solution is already at the optimal state if lahat ng nakabox na 0 is equal to the number of rows or columns. Ngayon, ilan ba yung nakabox? We can see we have 1 and we have 2. So, dalawa lang yung nakabox. So, ibig sabihin, this is not yet the optimal solution kasi we have 3 rows and 3 columns. Okay? So, usually, yung mga ganitong mga types of problem, so we always assume na balanced yung ating table. So, pag sinabing balanced, your number of rows and your number of columns are equal with each other. Ngayon, ma'am, paano kapag mas marami yung row sa column? So, gagawa tayo ng dummy column. So, yung dummy column na yon, so, puro 0 lang yung mga values nun. So, kapag mas marami naman yung column sa row, so, dummy row naman yung gagawin. So, dapat laging equal yung number of rows and columns. Okay? Now, in our solution here, so this is not yet optimal. Again, kasi we only tell na optimal na yung solution if the number of boxed zeros is equal to the number of rows or columns. So, kasi yung number of boxed zeros is 2 and this is not equal to 3. So, yung 3 kasi yun yung number of rows and columns. Now, ang next step for optimizing our solution is to find among the numbers or values that is not yet covered by lines. So, among the values na hindi pa covered ng line, so we have 5, 6, 2, and 3. So, among those values, hahanapin natin yung pinakamaliit na value or the smallest number. And that smallest number is the number 2. So, yung 2, yun naman yung ating i-deduct doon sa remaining values and then i-add doon sa value kung saan nag-intersect yung line. So, meron ba tayo nakikitang intersection? Yes. And yung intersection na yon is yung nasa value ni number 3. So, yung 5, yung 6, and yung 3, maminusan ko or babawasan ko ng 2. And then, yung 3 na nag-intersect yung lines natin, i-add ko naman si 2. So, kaya kapag nire-write ko siya, so, we have the job. So, yung job, RST, and then yung ating typesetters A, B, and C. So, 5 minus 2, that is 3. 6 minus 2, that is 4. Yung 0 as is. Tapos, yung mga 0 dito as is din. So, maliban or except doon sa 3 na dadagdagan ko ng 2. So, 3 plus 2 is 5. And then, 2 minus 2, so that is 0. 3 minus 2, so that's 1. And then 0 as is. Okay? So, once we're done doing this step, so, balik tayo dun sa row scanning and column scanning. So, row scanning, first row, we can find 1, 0. So, kaya nakabox siya. And then, draw a vertical line. Next row, we can find 2, 0. So, skip yon. And then, dun sa third row, we can find 1, 0. So, nakabox siya. And then, draw another line. Okay? So, once we're done with row scanning, we proceed with column scanning. So, column A is already cancelled kasi wala nang natirang values dyan. So, we go to column B. So, sa column B, we can find 1, 0. And then, ang sabi, we are going to draw a horizontal line across it. And then, syempre, yung ating column C, siya ay wala na ring values kasi na-cancel out na siya. So, Again, once we're done with the row and column scanning, so we are going to count the number of boxed zeros and identify kung siya ba ay equal na sa number of rows and columns. So clearly, we can see that there are 1, 2, and 3 na box 0. So ibig sabihin, this is already at the optimal solution. So para malaman yung final answer, so we can find naman na diagonal lang naman siya. So kapag tinanong kayo ano yung correct assignment, so yung correct assignment natin is si job R will be assigned to typesetter. So we have to write the final solution. Typesetter C. Si job S naman will be assigned to typesetter B. And si job T will be assigned to typesetter A. And yung kanyang mga costs are the following. We have 6, 10, and 9. And yung value niyan, so that is 25. So this is in dollars. So that's your final answer. Okay? So let's have another example. So, given that we have 5 jobs and 5 operators, so we want to determine the correct assignment that will minimize the cost. So, sino ba dapat yung ma-assign sa bawat isang job? So, again, yung ating solution is to get the row minimum. So, row reduction yung gagawin natin. So, row minimum, so we have 7, we have 6, we have 6, and then sa 4th row, we have 9, and then sa 5th row, we have 7. Okay? So, rewrite again the jobs. So, job 1 to 5, and then yung ating mga operators. Okay? So, 9 minus 7, 2, 11 minus 7, that's 4. 14 minus 7, 7. 11 minus 7, that is 4. And then 7 minus 7 is 0. Next, 6 minus 6 is 0. 15 minus 6, that's 9. 13 minus 6, so that is 7. Then 7, and then 4. Next row, so this is 6, 7, 0, 2, 2. And then next row, we have 2, 0, 1, 3, and 0. And then we have 0, 5, 7, 3, and 7. Next is yung column reduction ulit. So we have 0, 0, 0. Then 4th column is 2. 5th column is 0. So, yung column 4 lang yung mag-change yung mga values. Okay? So, we have the job. And then your operators. Okay? So, copy lang yung values. And then, for the second, ganun din. Third, and then we have 2, 5, 0, 1, 1, and then 0, 4, 2, 0, 7. Yan. So, we're done with column and row reduction. So, yung next step is yung row scanning. Row scanning. So, first row. So, may isang 0. So, naka-box and then draw a vertical line. Second row, so we can find another single 0 and then another vertical line. Third row, may dalawang 0, so skip yon. Fourth row, so we have 0, 1, and 1. So, yung 0 na nag-iisa, cancel din siya. And then next is yung fifth row, so wala nang 0. Okay? So, next naman is yung column scanning. So, automatically, column 1 and 2 is already canceled. Column 3, so we can find 1, 0. So, we are going to cancel or draw horizontal line. Okay? Next, column number 4. So, wala nang natira na 0. And again, optimality condition na siya. So, we can find the number of box zeros is 4. And yung ating number of columns and rows, yan ay 5. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa siya optimal condition. Now, by the way, pwede rin naman maging iterative yung row scanning and column scanning. So, kunyari, katulad niyan, tapos na tayong mag-scan ng column. So, pwede natin siyang i-check. Meron pa ba tayong pwede pang ma-cancel doon sa row? Kasi checking, wala naman na natirang ibang zero. So, usually, nagiging repetitive yung process ng row and column scanning kapag maraming zero na nag-exist in the matrix. Okay? Pero in this case kasi, lahat ng zero ay na-cover na ng line. So, kaya nag-verdict na tayo and we have to count the number of boxed zeros. And in this case, yung number of boxed zeros ko is equivalent to 4. And this is not yet equal to 5, which is the number of your column and your rows. Okay? Again, yung ating susunod na step. So, among the remaining values, so we have 7, 2, 7, 5, 1, 1, 7, and 1. Among these values, you're going to look for the smallest value and then i-deduct doon sa mga numbers na highlighted and i-add ko naman sa mga numbers na nag-intersect siya. And saan ba yung may intersection? Sa 6, sa 7, and doon sa 2. So, yun yung mga dadagdagan ko ng 1. So, kasi we can find na yung 1 yung smallest number. Okay, so continuing, we're going to rewrite again the table. So, we have your jobs, 1 to 5. And then, yung ating mga operators, na also 1 to 5. So, we're just going to copy the values na hindi nag-intersect, especially dun sa mga columns na na-cross out natin. So, we have 2 and 4. 0 and 9. Yung 6 and 7 plus 1 yan. So, we have 7 and 8. And then, 2 and 0 remains as is. And 0 and 5. So, next is yung ating column 3 and 4. So, minus 1 lahat sila. We have 7 minus 1. We have 6. This will be 1. And then, yung ating 0 remains the same. 7 will be 6. 5 will be 4, and then yung 4 remains as is. Yung dalawang 0 remains the same. Yung 2, magiging plus 1. So, 2 plus 1 is 3. And then, 1 minus 1 is 0. So, 0. Nasa na tayo? Ay, nawala. Ayun. Ayan. So, 0. And then, 0. And then, we have also 0 here. And then, 7 minus 1 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0, and then 7 remains as is. Okay? So, we will proceed with row scanning. So, row 1, so we can find 1, 0, and then cross out. Second row, so we can find 1, 0, and then cross out ulit siya. Third row, we can find 2, 0, so hindi pwede. Fourth row, we have 3, 0. So, hindi rin siya pwede. And then, we have the fifth row. So, may isang 0. So, cross out din siya. Okay? So, usod natin. Hindi siya nag-cross over. Ay, ba yan? Hindi nag-cross over. Ayaw niya. Ayan. Next is yung column naman, column scanning. So, column 1, automatic canceled na siya. So, column 2, we can see 1, 0. So, kaya, cross out. Third column, meron ding isa pang 0, nag-iisang 0. So, cross out din siya. Sa fourth column and fifth column are all canceled. And then, going back, lahat naman na ng 0 ay na-cover na. So, it's time for us to count the number of boxed zeros and verify if it equals the number of rows or columns. So, we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, ibig sabihin, this is already the optimal solution. Okay? So, if you're going to write the final answer, so yung final answer natin, job 1, so we have the job and operator. So, sulat natin dyan yung summary. Si job 1 will be assigned to operator 5. Job 2 will be assigned to operator 1. Si job 3 will be assigned to operator 3. Job 4 will be assigned to operator 2. And then job 5 will be assigned to operator 4. So if you want to know the costs, so 1 and 5, so that is 7. Ayan. So 7, 2 and 1 is 6. So sulat lang natin. 7 and then 6. 7, 6. 3 and 3, that's 6. And then si 4 to 2, 9. So 6 and 9. And then lastly, si job 5 to operator 4, so 10. So kapag kinuha natin yung final answer, so that will be 7, 6, 6, 9, and 10. That is equivalent to 38. I think, di naman binanggit ko ng unit. So, let's just say that this is in terms of dollar. So, ito yung cost daw of assigning each job to each operator. Okay? Okay, so let's go to the third example. So, this is an example of multiple optimal solutions. Okay? So, let's proceed with the usual process of row reduction. So, we have the row mean. So, yung usual process pa rin naman yung gagawin natin. Okay. So, once you're done with getting the minimum value in the rows, so, just rewrite or job 1, 2, 3 pala. Sorry. Job 1, 2, 3, 4. And then operators A, B, C, and D. So we have 3, 1, 0, 5, and then 5, 7, 0, 4, and then 2, 0, 1, and 3. And then last row is 0, 2, 2, and 3. Next is call minimum. So we have 0 for the columns and then 3 for the last column. Okay, so we have the job and then your operators. So we are just going to copy first to third column kasi parehas lang naman dahil 0 yung minimum values nila. Then 2, no, that's 3, 1, 0, 5, 7, 0. And we have 2, 0, 1. And 0, 2, 2. Then last column is 2, 1, 0, 0. Okay? So, next is yung ating row scanning. So, row scanning, so in the first row, so we can see that this one is an optimal cell. So, we're going to cross that out. Second row, wala. Third row, dalawa. And then, fourth row, dalawa. So, tapos na yung ating row scanning. Next is yung column scanning. So, first column. So, siya ay okay. Next na column is this one. So, okay. And then, sa ating last column, so, wala nang 0. And then, checking, every 0 is covered na by lines. And then, again, for optimality condition, since yung ating box zeros ay 3 lang, and this is not equal to the number of our rows or our columns, ibig sabihin, we have to perform the next step. So, that is identifying the least number or the lowest number in the uncovered value, so which is 1. in this case. And again, i-deduct natin siya doon sa mga values na hindi pa na-cover ng line. And i-add naman natin kung saan nagkaroon ng intersection. So, if I'm going to rewrite, so on this side na lang, so para magkatapat na lang sila. So, we have the 4 jobs. And then the operators. Okay. So, we have 3 minus 1. So, that will be 2. And then, that will be 0. 0 na to. Next is yung 5, which is 4. And then, magiging 6. Yung 2 and 0 remains as is. As well as 0 and 2. Doon sa ating column C, so we have 0, 0. And then, yung 1, yan yung magiging 2. And then, yung 2 magiging 3. And for column D, so we'll have 1, 0, and then 0, and 0. So, lipat natin siya para mas kita on this side. Okay. So, we will now proceed with the row scanning again. So, row scanning for the first row, so dalawa yung 0 na nakikita. So, skip. Second row, so dalawa ulit. Third row, dalawa. And fourth row, dalawa din. So, ibig sabihin, no row is qualified to be cancelled. So, next is column scanning. So, first column, so we can see that we have 1, 0. So, this is cancelled. Second column, dalawa yung 0. Third column, dalawa din yung 0. And then, yung ating fourth column, dalawa din yung 0. Now, kapag natapos tayo sa row and then column scanning, so pwede natin balikan yung row scanning. So, repetitive naman kasi yung process niya. And then, in some cases, pag talagang wala na tayong ma-cancel out, after ilang beses ulit-ulitin yung row and column scanning, saka tayo mag-proceed doon sa isang method. Now, check lang natin ulit. So, final checking. So, first row, may dalawa pa. Second row, may dalawa pa din. Third row, may dalawa pa din. So, ibig sabihin, talagang hindi pwede yung usual na row and column scanning. So, yung third method na pwede natin gawin to look for the optimal solution is yung diagonal method. Now, pag sinabing diagonal method, so we are going to find the 0 in a row and then nahanap tayo ng mga 0 na nasa opposite side niya. Okay? So, ano ba yung opposite side na sinasabi? So, check natin yung first row. So, sa first row, may dalawang 0. So, ibig sabihin, dalawa yung option na pwede natin maging starting point. Now, arbitrary naman yung pag-choose ng 0. Pero kasi mamaya, ibig sabihin lang nun, we have multiple optimal solutions. Okay? Now, let's just say na ito yung ating pipiliin. Okay? So, kapag pinili ko siya, ng 0 na yan, alin ba dyan or nasan ba dyan yung mga 0 na nasa opposite side niya? So, yung mga 0 na nasa opposite side niya is this one, opposite side, and then, pwede rin itong side na to. So, papalitan ko na lang yung color. So, yung 0, siya din ay diagonal doon sa isang 0. So, any 0 na nasa opposite na side nung 0 na yon. So, ibig sabihin, dalawa yung option natin. So, dito pa lang, meron na tayong dalawang path na pwedeng gawin. So, let's just say na out of this position, so, ang pinili ko is yung itong 0 na to. So, kasi nga, diagonal sila. So, cancel na siya, and cancel na yon. So, pag na-cancel na siya, so, we will now proceed with yung usual na row and column scanning. So, yung row 1, wala nang 0. Row 2, meron pa, kaso we cannot choose this 0, why? Kasi, meron ng assignment yung job 2, which is yung ating job C. So, hindi pwedeng dalawa yung naka-assign sa kanya. So, ibig sabihin, hindi na pwede yung row 2. Yung next is row 3. So, si row 3, wala naman ibang 0 bukod dito. So, kaya, ito yung ating optimal or yung ating mapipili na 0. And then, if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, so, apat na yung ating box 0. So, ibig sabihin, this is a feasible solution. Okay? So, kapag sinulat natin yung assignment niya, so, si job 1, so, this will be assigned kay B. And then, si job 2 will be assigned to operator C. And then, si job 3 will be assigned to operator D. And si job 4 will be assigned to operator A. So, if we're going to get the total value, so these are in hours. So, this is the manufacturing time or processing time in hours. So, 1B. So, 1B is 3. And then we have 2C. 2C is 2. And then we have 3D. 3D and then 4A. So, kapag inad natin siya, 3, 2, 7, 5. So, we have 3, 2, 7, and then 5. So, yung total value niyan, kapag inad, we have 3 plus 2 plus 7 plus 5. So, we have 17. So, this is in hours. Okay? Now, try natin yung isang optimal solution. So, kopyahin ko na lang siya. Okay? So, paano kung yung isa na option yung pinili natin? So, let's erase the values. Okay? So, natira lang naman is yung nandun sa ilalim. So, meron kasi tayong mga option, diba, kanina. So, kung ito yung pinili natin, pwede pa rin naman natin piliin ito. So, kasi diagonal pa rin sila. So, canceled na yon. Okay? However, kung titignan natin siya, si row 1, okay? So, although may isang 0 na tira, hindi pwede kasi magiging dalawa yung operator na naka-assign kay job 1. So, hindi na to pwede. Sa job 2, mawawalan naman ng assignment si job 2 kasi lahat ng si job 2 possible kasi hindi naman kasama sa cross out yung diagonal eh. So, si job 2, yun yung ating magiging possible na assignment. So, ayan. So, si job 2, ayun. Kasi dahil kanina, si C, siya yung nag-iisang 0 doon sa row ni 2. And then, all zeros are now covered with lines. And, kung mapansin nyo, parehas lang sila ng assignment. So, ayan. So, parehas na yung highlighted. We have B, C, D, and then A. So, B, C, D, and then A. So, parehas lang yung magiging final answer na 17 hours. So, syempre, meron pa tayong ibang option. Ibang option. So, paano kung yung isang side yung pinili natin? So, kung ito kasi pipiliin natin, this one, saan siya diagonal? Diagonal siya dito. Diagonal din siya doon, at diagonal din siya doon, di ba? Ang dami. So, ibig sabihin, marami pa tayong mga options na pwedeng piliin. So, in here, so, let's just say na ang pinili ko is ito. Ayan. So, siya yung maka-cancel out. Okay? So, kapag nangyari yon, so we will proceed with row scanning again. So, row 1 is okay na. Si row 2 may isang 0 and wala pa namang assigned kay job 2. So, kaya, yun yung ating job na ia-assign kay operator D. And kung mapapansin nyo, so, nag-iba yung mga assignments. So, si 1 or job 1 will be assigned to operator C. Si job 2 will be assigned to operator D. Si job 3 will be assigned to operator B. And si job 4 will still be assigned to job or kay operator A. So, kopyahin na lang natin itong ating table. So, parang tayo pabalik-balik dito sa ating original. So, check lang natin yung magiging assignment. So, kopyahin natin siya on this side. Ayan. So, si job 1 assigned kay C, 2 kay D, si 3 kay B, and then si 4 kay A. So, if you're going to write the values, we have 2, 6, 4, and then 5. So, kapag inad natin siya, we have 2, 6, 4, and 5. So, we have still 17 hours. Okay? So, meron pa bang mga other options? Yes, meron pa rin. Marami talaga siyang option. So, let's try to again answer yung mga other feasible solutions. Minsan kasi kakaano natin, maraming feasible pero may isa lang na optimal solution. So, may mga ganung cases. So, kaya minsan, we have to exhaust all possible solutions. Okay? So, let's try. So, doon tayo natapos kanina. So, ito yung pinili niya. And then, let's say, ang pinili kong diagonal is this one. And diagonal pa rin naman sila kasi opposite ends. So, ito yung pinili niya na value. Okay? So, ang mangyayari dyan, ano ang implication ng assignment na ito? So, ano implication ng assignment? Row 1, hindi na pwede si job 1. Si job 2, wala naman na rin. Si job 3, hindi na rin pwede. So, ibig sabihin, this particular na pattern is not possible. So, not possible siya. Kasi, at the first place, hindi lahat ng 0 na cover ng lines. Yun kasi yung rule. So, dapat lahat ng 0 will be covered with the minimum number of lines and your boxed zeros should be equal to the number of rows or your columns. So, ibig sabihin, itong pattern na ito, dito sa ating sinunod na solution is not possible. Okay? Meron pa bang other ways na na i-consider? Usually kasi sa row 1 naman tayo talaga nagsisimula. Pero pwede rin kayo mag-start sa row 2 kasi 'di ba kung papansinin natin itong ating table, hindi ko pala nabura yung initial lines. Ayan. Ang dami kasi niyang mga 0. So actually kahit dito kayo mag-start, ayan, dito kayo mag-start, ang dami ang diagonal doon, and yun, diagonal din niya. So, ayun. So, kung sakaling ang pinili kong diagonal is this one, ayan, so, meron pa rin matitira, which is this one. So, parehas pa rin naman sila ng mga naging answers natin. And, in this case, talagang optimal solution natin is yung 17 hours. Alright? So, that is assignment model or yung Hungarian method. And this is just a review kasi nga naaral nyo na to on your operations research 1. So, isa tong part ng linear programming, 'di ba? So, yun. So, if you have other questions, so yun. So, you may refer them in our Teams chat or dun sa ating Facebook Messenger. Alright? So, I'll see you on the next video. Bye!